Hi guys, it's Xenia. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is today's video is dedicated to all the brides-to-be. This is the ultimate guide of what I think are just the most stunning, ethereal, beautiful fragrances to wear on your wedding day. I have kind of a little bit of everything in this video. I know when you think of wedding, you probably think of a floral, fresh, pretty kind of fragrance, and I feel like that's kind of the stereotypical scent that you think of. And of course, I do have those kinds of scents here, but everybody has different tastes, and your wedding is literally your day. It's your day to look and feel and smell your most beautiful. So I have a little bit of everything. Everything is super appropriate for that day though. Everything is so stunning and feminine and just gorgeous. And of course, one of the main things about weddings is that they are very expensive, so I do have different price points in this video as well. I have like your typical designer slash niche kind of price points, but if you don't want to spend a ton of money on your perfume, especially since you've probably already spent a lot of money on everything else, then I do have a lot more affordable options to share here that are equally going to give you that stunningly beautiful scent. So you definitely don't have to cut back on that just because you are spending less on a perfume. And I made sure that on top of giving you guys different price points and different scent profiles, I also made sure that each and every one of these perfumes, no matter the price point, lasted, because your wedding day is a pretty long day and the last thing you want to worry about is having to reapply your perfume or anything like that. So I made sure that these would be something that you just put on at the beginning of your day and it will last you all throughout. I'm sure you're gonna refresh at some point of the day anyway, but in case you don't, these perfumes will last. So that's not something we have to worry about. I'm not gonna mention performance for each perfume because I'm already telling you right now, all of these perfumes last really well. I personally am married, but I didn't have a wedding. I'm not a wedding girl. I feel like most women dream all their lives of their wedding day. I've never been that kind of person. I just wanted it to be me and my husband. We literally got married in a courtroom, and I would like for someday in the future for us to take some like beautiful pictures, but I am not a wedding girl. I cannot think of anything worse than being the center of attention. I don't like being surrounded by a ton of people. That just sounds like a nightmare to me, but I know a lot of people love that. I'm not trying to be negative. That's just like my viewpoint on it. But weddings are beautiful, and I know wedding season is coming up. So if you are a bride-to-be, or even if you're not, and you're just looking for beautiful, feminine fragrances of all price points, then this is your video. So I have a top 15 perfumes here. And with all that being said, before we get into it, please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and turn your post notifications on. And let's get into it. Starting off with fragrance number 1. This is Mancera Roses Greedy. This is going to be a price point that's a little bit higher up. I actually looked out and I found this at a TJ Maxx, which was super random. I didn't think they would have niche fragrances in there, but I got this for under $100, which is really great because Mancera is a very high-end niche brand. But Roses Greedy is a beautiful, fresh, kind of rose watery, rose petal kind of fragrance that is definitely floral dominant. I am not somebody that loves overly floral scents, you know, kind of like too mature and all that. That's not this. This is just feminine. This is on the stronger side. So if you're already somebody that doesn't like super strong scents, then I wouldn't recommend this one. But if you like strong scents, girl, and you want to project and you want everyone in that wedding to smell you, then this is gonna be it. And here you have some pink pepper. It's slightly spicy. You have black currants, a beautiful rose note that honestly for me is more like rose water, and I love the scent of rose water. It's just so pretty. And you even have sugar, vanilla, musk. It's perfect. It's not too sweet. It just has the right amount of everything in my opinion, and it's just a stunning scent through and through. So highly recommend Roses Greedy. So I'm not really gonna go in order of price points. I'm kind of just gonna go up and down. So that first one was a little bit more higher up. This one you can literally find for around 20 something dollars. And I've already talked about this being a wedding time scent. This is White by Kenneth Cole, and my OGs will know. If you've been around since the time that I hauled this, which was like 2 or 3 years ago, when I mentioned that I would be wearing this as my wedding day scent, If you remember that, leave it in the comments. And I know I just said I didn't have a wedding. That was before we ultimately decided that we didn't want a wedding, because when we initially got engaged, our families of course wanted us to have a wedding. We were just kind of like kind of going back and forth on the idea. And so before we officially were like, okay, no, we're not having a wedding, this was actually the perfume that I was heavily thinking on wearing on my wedding day if I were to have one. At this point, I've tried so many more perfumes since this. I mean, I literally got this for the first time 3 years ago. So I feel like if I had a wedding, I don't know if I'd necessarily say still that this would be my wedding day scent. I feel like maybe I'd pick something else, because I've tried so many other new beautiful perfumes since this. But I had to include this because this is so beautiful. The price point you cannot beat, but honestly, to me, it's worth way more even the price point. I know you kind of see this, and even the name is giving off fresh vibes all through and through, but this is actually not just a fresh perfume. There's actually a lot of sweetness and creaminess to this one. There's this kind of creamy tonka in here happening, and this vanilla vibe. If you're familiar with Twilight Woods from Bath and Body Works, this is like the sexy version, more mature version of Twilight Woods. This has iris, which I love, so it has that slight powdery, slight almost makeup-y sort of scent. It has also plum in it. It has vanilla, orchid, lily of the valley, really beautiful florals, but it's beautifully balanced by a good amount of sweetness. So I would say this is for somebody that wants something that's a little bit more sweet on their wedding day, but not like total sweet. It's kind of that perfect in between. Another very fair price point is Burberry Body, specifically Burberry Body Tender. This is a flanker of the OG Burberry Body, which in my opinion is not nearly as good as this one. I actually had the OG Burberry Body, and I had to declutter mine because I wore it a few times, and I just found that it was overly soapy on my skin, overly musky, and honestly a little too mature for me. This one though, the Tender version, the juice even has a slight pink hue to this one, and it kind of has the same fresh, slight soapiness as the OG. I don't think is as soapy as the original one, but this one has some beautiful sort of pink florals in it. It has more of a flirty vibe, and overall it's definitely not as mature. This smells like walking into a garden of flowers, but it also has a little bit of sweetness in there. It's a little bit fruity, and it's also slightly green. It's a very, very ethereal, almost fairy-like scent. I highly recommend Burberry Tender. A new fragrance for me that I absolutely fell in love with. I actually blind bought this. This is by TOA. You can get this brand now. Well, you used to be able to get it at Sephora, but they took it away from Sephora, and you can definitely get them online. I bought mine on Amazon, and it was I think around $80 something, so this is not too bad of a price point. Pretty much all of the perfumes in this line I feel like could all be beautiful wedding day scents, because they are all so feminine and floral and super fresh. Pretty much all of them, they just have different vibes, so you have to kind of find your pick. But I think, at least from what I've tried another TOA, which I believe was TOA Florence in the past. That was pretty, but slightly too floral for me. I would say TOA Simone out of the ones that I've tried. I've smelled others as well. This is the easiest blind buy, and this is such a highly complimented scent because it just smells fresh. It's pretty fruity at the same time, and it has a little bit of spice. This has watermelon, apple, and lemon. I think the watermelon has a big role in this one. It's a very aquatic type of scent. It just makes your mouth almost water, but it's also beautifully balanced by a ton of florals that just gives this such a feminine touch. It's not too mature at all. It's just flirty and perfect for a wedding. If you want a very affordable perfume that will bring you sexiness and richness and definitely long lasting, but it's coming from a house that you would not expect, and when you first hear this name, you're probably gonna be like, there's no way I would wear that to my wedding day. But trust me, if you've never smelled this one particularly, I know a lot of perfumes coming from this house are very similar and they're pretty juvenile, but trust me, you just have to smell this one. This is coming from Juicy Couture, which yes, I know most people will be like, I'm not wearing a Juicy Couture perfume to my wedding. But trust me, this is Couture by Juicy Couture. If this perfume was like 200 and something, I would still buy it, but it's not. It's literally like 30 bucks. It's been out for a while, but honestly, This one is super comparable to Rose's Greedy, in my opinion. It's like the toned down version, pretty much. So I know I recommended this and I know I told you how strong this one is. If you want like a toned down version of it, it's Couture. This is a lot of white florals, which normally I'm not a huge fan of because I find white florals, especially in heavy doses, to be very mature. This is not. This is the perfect amount of maturity, feminine, sexy, flirty. My husband compliments this so much. I could have on a $400 perfume and he doesn't compliment those perfumes as much as he does this one. And here on top of the white florals, you also have plum, you have vanilla and amber, and you have sandalwood. It's just so rich and luxe smelling. I honestly can't believe how this smells the way it does considering the price point, but I'm not complaining. Definitely don't judge a book by its cover or by its price. Just try it. Trust me, just try it. This perfume is also pretty new to my collection. This is probably the perfume that inspired this entire video because when I first smelled this, I'm like, this smells like the most gorgeous, just the perfect wedding scent ever. And this got me thinking, I'm like, I should make a wedding perfume recommendations video. So you can thank this entire video to this guy right here. This is You Remind Me by Forever Mood, which is Jackie Aina's brand. She recently came out with 4 perfumes. I talked about this a lot more in depth. I did a whole dedicated review on it, and I also spoke a little bit about all the 3 other perfumes in this collection. If you want to check that video out and just a lot more of an in-depth review on this, I will have that video linked up here. This perfume has apricot, it has musk, it has orange blossom, and it has a skin note, which I know sounds really weird, but trust me, not even if you're getting married, if you want just like the most feminine, I want to get compliments and I want a signature worthy type scent that smells beautiful and gorgeous and sexy and feminine and just everything all in one, this is it. This is seriously one of the most stunning perfumes I think I've ever smelled. Something about this, when it hits your skin and the more it dries down, this gets so good. I wasn't even gonna buy it. I literally went into Sephora and smelled all 4 of the perfumes in this launch, and at that time it was when they had first launched and they were all out of stock. But I honestly didn't really fall in love with any one of them while I was in store, but I had sprayed all of them on me. Once I got home, I kept sniffing my hand and I kept sniffing specifically the part where I had put this perfume on, and I'm like, this scent is so good and it has turned into the most perfect scent ever. I'm like, I need to get this. And I literally placed an order on the Forever Mood website and got this because I just couldn't go without it. It was that beautiful. I had to get it, and now I'm recommending it to all of you. Another really fair price point. This is for my jasmine girlies out there. If you want to smell like jasmine tree on your wedding, I think jasmine is one of the most gorgeous florals ever. I don't love many white florals, but jasmine is definitely an exception. And Calvin Klein Beauty is just a jasmine bomb in the best way. This scent has the perfect name. I mean, it is literally beauty. I know this bottle is kind of lackluster and you look at it and you're just like, what is that gonna give me? This is another one you're not gonna want to judge by its appearance. Just smell it. You do have to love jasmine to like this one though, fair warning. But if you do, you're gonna love this one. It's sort of musky jasmine with a very woody kind of base, and it smells so expensive. Next up, I have Tresor in Love by Lancome. This one is on its last few drops. I actually didn't use up this entire one. This was actually a perfume that my mom had, and she got about halfway through it and then she gave it to me because she just wasn't finishing it. But this is the epitome of femininity. This is such a beautiful scent, and I know I keep saying that word in this video, but I mean that's kind of the theme of this video. I'm just trying to find synonyms for that word, like, I don't know, stunning, pretty, beautiful. I don't know what else is there. This is that. This has nectarine, it has pear. Pear is just that note for me. In all fragrances, I feel like if it has pear, I'm like, I love it. It's just juicy, it's sweet, it has a little bit of tartness to it, and the pear in this one is stunning. It has a little bit of pink pepper. It's like that slight little spice that's just perfect. A beautiful rose, this powdery sort of violet touch, and then just like musky and cedary in the base. I don't know if this perfume is discontinued or what. I don't see this in any department stores. You can probably order it online. If you want kind of like a no fuss, you're gonna just smell good, not too sweet, not too floral, not too fresh, just perfect scent, honestly, then go for Dolce by Dolce & Gabbana. I'm in love with this scent. This scent is such a compliment getter because I don't think that there's a single person in this world that can smell this perfume and tell me that they don't like it. I will be flabbergasted if you smell this perfume and you tell me you don't like it. It's just so good. I don't care what kind of scent taste you have, you will love this. I could sit here and smell this all day and all night. This is one of my signature scents, and I'm normally somebody that likes like the sweetest of the sweetest perfumes, and that's not this perfume. This perfume barely has any sweetness. If anything, it doesn't even have sweetness. It's just a fresh, aquatic, aromatic, floral kind of scent. It has narcissus, water lily, amaryllis, neroli, papaya flower. You get musk in here, and this cashmere note. This just gives you everything that you would want on a wedding day, like beautiful, feminine, sexy, signature worthy, fresh, uplifting. It's everything in one. I highly recommend, not even just for wedding, for like every day, just a perfect daily perfume. This is it. If you are like a very musky girl, that sounds really weird. Let me reword that. If you like to smell musky in a good way, again, that sounds bad, but you know, clean musky. You know what I'm trying to say. This perfume right here, this is by Sisley. This is gonna be a little bit more high up there. This is Le Rêve d'Elia. I'm normally not somebody that really even loves overly musky, like musky dominant perfumes, and I would say that's what this is, but something about this is just too good. I also love violet, which I've mentioned a couple times in this video. Many of these perfumes have that note. It's more of like a warm floral that gives this powderiness, and I think the violet in here in mixture with the sort of muskiness, the woodiness, the floral aspects make this scent just so beautiful. This has cedar, which happens to be one of my favorite notes because it's just the most deeply woody, aromatic, woody kind of scent, and I love that scent in here. You have tuberose and you also have bergamot and lemon, so it has a slight citrusy vibe. I think that's what also is giving off that very aromatic kind of scent. This is actually a unisex scent, but I personally find it really, really feminine. I mean, anybody can wear it. I just think it's feminine. Every time I smell this, I just think of a beautiful wedding gown. Next perfume is again one that you cannot judge by the name or by the fact that it's a celebrity perfume, because yes, it's a celebrity perfume, but honestly, this is so pretty, and again, I did an entire dedicated review to this, so if you want to see that, I will also link that up in the cards. This is by Kylie Jenner, and I know people want to hate on this perfume just because it's by Kylie Jenner, and I did my whole spiel in the whole video that I did to this. I don't care who any perfume is associated to. If I like the perfume, that's all I really care about, because that's why I buy perfumes. I don't buy perfumes because of the brands or the names behind them or whatever. I buy perfumes based off of what I think smells good, and this to me personally smells really good, and especially for this type of occasion. I know it's a celebrity perfume. I actually think this is pretty unique. I don't have a single perfume in my collection that smells quite like this, although there is one scent that this has always reminded me of, and it's super random, but every time I smell this, I think of Japanese Cherry Blossom by Bath & Body Works. Just like a pinker version of it. Japanese Cherry Blossom is one of those scents that is a little bit mature. Japanese Cherry Blossom is so nostalgic to me because my mom uses that scent to this day, and I do also use it. It's in my collection, and this reminds me of it. It's definitely different, and it's like an elevated version, but it's so pretty. It's a little musky, it's a little powdery, it's super feminine. It smells like springtime, but it's not overly floral. There's vanilla in here. It's kind of a good mix of sweet, floral, not really fruity. It's pretty much just a warm floral scent, and definitely very woody. It has a really pretty heart of jasmine and also peony, and this gorgeous rounded out amber feel. I enjoy this a lot, and I think for this type of occasion, this is so pretty. Next one, this is if you want to smell rich on your wedding day. This perfume is the epitome of luxury. This perfume just smells like luxury to me. Every time I smell it, it smells like money. Not just money, it smells like old money. This is Narciso by Narciso Rodriguez. Oh, this smells so unique. It literally smells like it's raining money. This is the most expensive smelling perfume. I don't even care what price point this has. This smells like it's thousands of dollars. Narciso Rodriguez is known for how they do their rose and how they do their musk, and this is kind of no different because it has both. But mainly I would say this perfume is dominated by gardenia and musk, which funny enough are two of my least favorite notes, but somehow I'm obsessed with this perfume. Make it make sense. That just happens sometimes. You'll find a perfume every once in a while where you hate all the notes in it, but somehow it's the mixture in the notes that makes you really love it. For me, that's this perfume. This has gardenia, it has rose, it has musk, and all of those are very much in here. I smell them, but somehow I'm obsessed. Now, apart from those notes that I don't love, in here we have a whole lot of woodiness. There's white cedar extract and there's cedar in here. And I mentioned earlier, I love cedar. And there's also vetiver in here, which I'm not really getting. I can't explain this other than just a perfume that smells like money. It also smells like the color white to me, and it definitely just smells like what I picture the most gorgeous, elegant wedding dress would smell like. And speaking of Narciso Rodriguez, I think they actually make a lot of really beautiful wedding time scents because they're all about the rosy, musky. They're so feminine and fresh for the most part. If you're a new viewer of mine, then you don't know this, but if you're an OG, then you're probably sick and tired of hearing this. But I'm just gonna mention it again in case we do have new viewers. I'm a big hater of the Narciso Rodriguez For Her, the one that's in like the light pink bottle that looks just like this. Well, this is actually a flanker to that I really do love. I personally don't love For Her because the rose in it is too much and the musk in it is too much. It's in a very mature kind of way and it smells like my grandma's wardrobe that she's had since 1952. So it's just not my favorite, but this one, this is really pretty. This is Fleur Musk, and this one is kind of like the tamer version of the For Her. Something about this is more wearable for me. It's definitely less mature and it's so beautiful. It's so feminine. It just smells like a bouquet of pink and red roses in not a too mature kind of way. There is also peony in here, which gives it that pink vibe and some warmth. And we also have violet, so even more warmth, a little bit of powderiness, some amber, some pink pepper to give it a bit of that spice. This is really just so pretty, and I'm so glad that I discovered this because it kind of redeemed the whole For Her line for me because I was so against that perfume and still am, but at least now I kind of like some sort of version of it. Another one that is super beautiful and it just smells like you're walking through the most gorgeous field of flowers. This is by Replica. This is Springtime in a Park. I mean, the name kind of says it all. It smells like springtime. This is a fruity floral. It has a bright juiciness, but it's fresh. The main fruity component in here comes from pear, so it's not too juvenile with any other type of fruits that are like mixing. It's not too fruity. It's a perfect level of fruity and floral. The floral in here is Lily of the Valley and pear, so it's kind of a good mixture of both the two with a little bit of musk, and that's all you get in the notes of this. It's a very simple composition. This perfume smells like a pink princess dress to me. It's such a gorgeous scent, perfect for this occasion. Next up, this perfume is gonna be for those of you that still want to smell really sweet even on your wedding day. You don't really care to smell fresh and too floral. You still want your sweet fix, but not in a sickly way, of course. Seafiori. The original C, I think, is a little too... I mean, you could still wear that on your wedding day. You can wear any perfume you want. We're talking a little bit more like stereotypical scents in this video, obviously, because that's the title of this video. But I obviously know everyone has different tastes and you can wear literally whatever you want. But for this video, I think the sweetest that I would pick is Seafiori. This is such a stunning perfume. The original Seafiori is a little bit more sexy, scandalous. This is like the princess version of the original C. This has blackcurrant, rose, it has patchouli, it has oak moss, but it has this gorgeous vanilla note in the base that is so stunning in here. It's pretty powdery, it's super well blended, and this smells kind of like Turkish delights to me. It's some type of sweet candy, but I don't want that to sound juvenile or anything that you maybe wouldn't want to gravitate towards on like your wedding day. But seriously, this is so pretty for this type of occasion, especially if you're a sweet lover but don't want to do too much and you still want that ethereal, beautiful, feminine vibe. Seafiori is it. And then the 15th scent, the very last scent in this video, I honestly hesitated. I kind of went back and forth if I wanted to include this because I've seen a couple of these bridal wedding day recommendation type videos, and this is always in these videos, and it's a little bit redundant, but at the same time, I get it. This is like the perfume for this occasion. It's like the wedding perfume, and there's different versions of this perfume. So if you don't like the original, you have something that's a little bit softer. You also have something that's a little bit sweeter. The perfume I'm talking about here is Delina by Parfums de Marly. This is very much overly talked about, and I get that part about it, but this is one of the most, if not the most, feminine, gorgeous scents out there. Personally, in my opinion, I personally wouldn't wear this to my wedding because this is very strong. Some people wear this as their daily perfume and don't get bothered by it at all. It's just a disclaimer that I'm making for me personally, and I'm usually somebody that likes strong scents. This can be a lot even for me. So I personally wouldn't choose this for my wedding day because I just know I would be smelling it all day, which again, could be a bonus to somebody. But for me, it's one of those scents, if I'm not in the right mood, and especially on my wedding day, I want to be surrounded by a scent that I want to smell from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. And I know that makes it sound like I just don't like this scent, and I do like the scent. Trust me, I spend good money on it and I do really love it. I have days where I'm obsessed with this perfume and I love it from the start of my day to the end, but it's very strong, it's very specific, and borderline a little bitter. I'm explaining this in such a bad way, like I'm making nobody want to get this perfume. I'm just giving out the disclaimers before I tell you the good stuff. But let's get to the good stuff. This has lychee, it has rhubarb, and because of those two notes, there's something a little bit sharp in it and borderline a little bit tart slash slightly bitter, but it also has a ton of rose, and the rose is done in such a unique way in this perfume. I think that's where the whole beauty of this perfume kind of lies and why it is so used for wedding day type of occasions. You have vanilla in here, but if you want something like this that's gonna give you the femininity and kind of similar scent, but you want it to be a little sweeter, then go for Delina Exclusive, because that has a lot more vanilla added to it and it's a little bit more rounded out. And if you want something that will also give you the same scent in a softer way, go for the La Rosée version of Delina. And with both those options, you get kind of the same scent, just done in different ways depending on how you like them. But I know the OG Delina is loved by so many people, highly complimented. I know men love this. That's why it's kind of perfect for this type of occasion, which is why I wanted to include it just in case. But this is not blind buy worthy. I would definitely recommend, if you're searching for like your perfect wedding day scent, don't blind buy this. If anything, get a sample online or go into a store like Nordstrom or Saks Fifth Avenue where they have this, and not only smell it, spray it on your skin. That's the number one thing I'll tell you about this perfume. The first time I smelled this on a tester strip, I didn't like it. I didn't pick it up. Then after wearing it on my actual skin, I fell in love with it. It just does something so beautiful once it actually mixes with your chemistry. So that's my biggest tip when it comes to this perfume. So those are all 15 of my personal recommendations for wedding day scents. If you're a bride to be, then hopefully this video could be useful to you in any way. I try to include as much variety as I could in terms of scents as well as price range, so hopefully everyone can find something in this video. And like I said, even if you're not getting married, they're all just really beautiful perfumes. In the comments down below, if you've already had your wedding, let me know what your wedding day perfume was. That is it for me today. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and turn post notifications on, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.